Good afternoon. My name is Philip Johnston. I'm the CEO of Trackwise Designs PLC. The company has been going about 30 years, formed in 1989 as a printed circuit board design bureau. We've moved soon after into manufacture, and then in about the mid-1990s, we're asked to make a 9-foot long printed circuit board, which was one of the early GSM 900 base station antennas. So for the last 25 years or so, the company has been a supplier, sort of a tier 2 or tier 3 supplier into the world's mobile phone networks. My own background is in space. I work for British Aerospace and successive space companies in Bristol. Found Trackwise, which had a niche manufacturing capability that they were selling to a single customer. And I thought if we could sell it to one, we should be able to sell it to others. And I did an MBO. Absolutely at the top of the technology bubble in 2000, but that's probably another story. So we went on and indeed sold the technology to other customers. Our first sort of export business was in Melbourne in South Australia, really amazingly miles away from Tewkesbury. But we went on and won a Queen's Award for export, and really have been looking after the export market ever since. So our USP at the time was really the ability to make very big printed circuit boards. And in the early years of 2010s, Rolls-Royce aero engines came to Trackwise and said, we're looking to replace the wire harness inside our aero engines with flexible printed circuits in order to save weight and in order to save space. We understand you, Trackwise, make big printed circuit boards. Rolls, so what they wanted was roughly the 8 meter long run between fadeout to fadeout to be made out of a single piece of printed circuit. And the rest of the world's PCB manufacturing community said, no, that couldn't be done. I had to think about it. We had to think about it and said, yeah, I think that could be done. So that was the source of the innovation that we're calling improved harness technology. So really is the replacement of a conventional wire harness by length unlimited flexible printed circuits. And they can save 60, 70, 80% of weight amongst many other benefits. So as I say, we're calling it improved harness technology because the improvements are many, many and varied. At the time, Rolls took one look at a pretty scruffy supplier to the telecoms industry and actually went away and developed the technology with a couple of very large US corporations and actually developed a sort of a daisy chain of interconnected sections. So an inferior technology. So really for the last years, Trackwise has not only been investing in the TRL, the technology readiness level of our capability, but also in changing the business from a supplier to the telecoms industry to one that is fit for purpose for supplying the aerospace industry. So it's been both a technological journey and a corporate journey. The improved harness technology, so as I say, we're replacing conventional wire harness with flexible printed circuits. And in theory, the total addressable market is wherever wire is used. Now that's obviously not strictly correct. And what we've found over the years is that the three main verticals, electric vehicles, medical catheters, and aerospace, are emerging as our principal opportunities. Those sound quite different markets, and indeed they are very different markets, but they are addressable using the same manufacturing assets. Anyway, so we're through the company's journey. We floated on AIM in July 18, had the initial successful IPO. We then did a second raise in March of this year, just as the stock market was in free fall, and used the funds to acquire a UK competitor, Stevenage Circuits Limited. So they were a privately owned business about the same size as us, who brought quite a lot of additional capability, but above all capacity, such that we can focus our own site on the production of IHT. We have recently announced a very significant a very significant contract award for the supply of products into electric vehicle battery modules, battery packs, and this is a transformational deal for the business. But so we're very interested, and hopefully with Bessemer's help or the Bessemer network, we're going to continue to promote the foundation, the establishment or the maturing of a UK EV supply chain. But as I say, we've also got the much wider opportunities of medical catheters and ultimately through into aerospace. It was my business up until IPO. I remained the largest shareholder, but we're very pleased to have a very wide and supportive network of investors on the stock market, and we're very grateful to them for their support. One of Alex's question is, what the final goal? Well, I mean that's a crystal ball question, and I've as an engineer really interested to see where this technology can go, whether we can really get IHT, improved harness technology, established in these three disparate verticals, and clearly we're interested in making some money for ourselves and our shareholders. The Bessemer Society has been very helpful for us. I think there's a very high grade of entrepreneurs, business owners, and investors, and we're very grateful to Alex for putting it together and corralling us all into one place in these difficult times.